Hey YouTube, I haven't made a video in a while. Life's been kind of crazy, but I have another Emerson video for you, and it's another rare knife, and this is the NSAR, which stands for Navy Search and Rescue Knife. This knife is actually a modification of the SAR knife that Emerson releases to the public. The only alteration for the Navy that they required was this gut hook, or the shroud cutter here. So originally the search and rescue knife was designed for first responders, military, law enforcement, paramedics, and those type of fields, so that they could cut clothing off of victims with ease and without cutting them. So that there's this blunt point here, so that they can basically get underneath of clothing like this without cutting the individual. And what's interesting is this handle shape is probably the most widely used Emerson handle shape in their entire lineup. It's used on the Emerson Spec War, the Emerson SOCFK blades, the SAR knives, both the P-SAR and the NSAR, and the regular SAR actually. It's also used on the 11, and actually the Super SOCFK, and the Emerson Timberline collaboration fixed blade. And if you're not familiar with all of those, let me show you a catalog. This is from 1999. It's an Emerson catalog from 1999. And what we have here is, this is the Spec War model. So I can show you. So up top here has the Spec War, and then over here is the Raven, back when they still made the Raven as a normal production knife. And you can see the handle shape is obviously the same for the Spec War as the NSAR. And then there's another model called the SOCFK, which is not in any catalog, but it is basically this handle with the blade of a CQC7. Whereas the Spec War is this blade, or this handle with the blade of a Raven. So actually, while we have the 7 out, let's do a comparison, look at the difference here. The NSAR handle is a bit longer, probably only a quarter of an inch. It seems longer in the viewfinder. It looks like it's almost a half an inch, but it's I think the view of the camera is skewing that a little bit. And then again, the tip of the knife is about a quarter of an inch to maybe a half inch difference. Obviously the serrations are pretty similar, and obviously the blade shape's different. And the wave on the SAR is a little bit smaller than that on the 7. But so I've done cutting tests with this knife, and because it's a search and rescue knife, I really wasn't cutting cardboard or anything like that, because that is not its intended purpose. What I did was I just took old t-shirts and kind of ripped through them. I would put them on and see how well it would cut the shirt material, and it cut it well, extremely well. Obviously it's an Emerson, so it's gonna be super sharp, but the important part was this tip does not, it doesn't stab into you. It's very comfortable. Like I was shown before, I found that you can't hold it like this and just completely slide. I would pull a piece of material and then rip, and then slide under another piece of material and pull like this, and it seemed very effective, and I can see why the Navy asked for this kind of knife. Before in my talking about this handle shape, I had mentioned the P-SAR, and that stands for Police Search and Rescue Knife. And the difference between a SAR and a P-SAR is that the P-SAR has a pointed tip here. And when the NSAR was originally designed, Ernie made 5 knives for the Navy to test. And it was exactly the same here in the handle and this part of the blade, but the tip was pointed, like the PSAR. And they decided they did not like that, and they wanted the blunt nose tip like the normal SAR knife. So there are five NSARs out there with pointy tips, and those are even more rare. This knife can only be had if you are a member of the Navy and order it through your, I don't know, I'm not in the Navy and I don't know the way that works, but I know you have to be a naval member to order it from the Emerson, directly from Emerson Knives Incorporated. Obviously I got this from a friend who lent it to me. Like I said, I'm not in the Navy, and which is cool. It's a very comfortable grip. Something like the 7 is a very neutral. It has, obviously it has one sweep here and another sweep here, and it allows for gripping in a lot of different positions comfortably. But the SAR knives have a more, I guess, a more specific and a more specific cutouts. You can see it still has the 2 general cutouts, but this big finger choil here really locks your hand in, and as well with this finger ramp, it's extremely comfortable and very positive grip. Like, it's almost as if the handle grips you back. But it's also, how should I say, it's neutral enough that it allows for nice hand positioning in multiple configurations. This is probably the least comfortable position, but considering the function of this knife, I feel like this is an unusual grip to have. It may be more common if you have the PSAR and you're a law enforcement agent protecting their life or something like that with it. But this is also extremely comfortable grip, and I feel like this is probably the most common grip one would use if one were cutting a t-shirt or someone's jeans or BDUs off of them in a rescue type situation. If they were just to kind of go underneath like this and go like that, I feel like that's the most common grip they would use, and it's extremely comfortable in that grip, as to be expected. So yeah, this is a really cool knife, and it's unlikely that you'll probably buy one, but if you're at a knife show and someone has one, I think it's a cool knife to check out. Let's get another close-up. Oh, maybe. Let's see if it'll focus. Doesn't seem to want to focus with the magazine catalog. Oh, there we go. So you can see this is from 2008. He's only made, I think, 2 runs of these, and I think the total number of NSARs in circulation is something like 35 or 40, so there's not that many of them. Well, now it went out of focus again. I don't understand this. Oh well, sorry about that. But you can see, of course, that it is chisel ground with the Emerson, how they have the chisel grind and then the one primary bevel up front here. Yeah, it's a cool knife. And actually, it makes me want to buy a PSAR for normal everyday tasks. It's an extremely comfortable grip, and this small, it's almost like a hawkbill, because there is a small curve in this region right here. Let's see if I can put up against something that's straight. You can see there's a small curve. So if you had the point at the end here, like the PSAR has, I think that'd be an extremely useful EDC knife or a self-defense knife, because of course it has the wave, so it will open up quickly, and it has very positive retention in the hand. But yeah, that's about it. Coming up on my channel, I'll have a kind of like an update video, because like I said, I haven't been around for, gosh, probably weeks or maybe a month at this point. I don't even know. But yeah, that's about it. As always, be dressed to play and geared to slaughter. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them, and see you later. Bye.